There's a lot of talk about wealth tax at the moment. People have noticed that there's a group of wealthy people who are getting all the gravy, perhaps 1%, and that's leading to these calls for a wealth tax. And I'm going to explain why it's a terrible idea and it won't achieve its aim. Wealth tax falls at the first hurdle. You can't even define wealth. We all talk about wealth, but we don't define it. You can discuss this with friends, you'll see what I mean. Everybody's got a different idea. We've got an idea who the wealthy are. They live in big houses, in nice places, they've got a lavish lifestyle. They've got expensive cars, private yachts, wine cellars, artworks by people like Damien Hirst, perhaps race horses. Defining wealth is another story. Some people think that it's nothing more than an abstract idea. I don't have a problem with it, but it's not a basis for legislation, because legislation has to be clear and precise. And I'm going to show what this is all about. Have a look. Which of these is wealth? Money, that's got a picture of the Queen on it. I can't spend it here because I'm in Sweden. And if they change the picture, it won't be even legal tender in Britain. So that's not really wealth. It's a piece of plastic which entitles me to buy stuff if I'm in the United Kingdom. So not really wealth. Claim on wealth. What about this hammer? I can use that for something or other. It's a useful one. I'd put that in the category of wealth. That's wealth, you can use it. More than you can do with the £5 note. You can't even blow your nose on it. Let's carry on. Money in the bank, is that wealth? No, it's just an entry on a data somewhere. It's a magnetic strip or a set of magnetic strips. What about these old cameras and lenses? Look, I've got this. Don't use it very much, but it's I think that would probably count as wealth. It's probably worth a few bob, I don't know. I'll come to that in a minute. Old Leica lenses, you see now, what they're worth actually depends on the serial number around the edge. So they might be worth 50 quid or they might be worth 50,000. You just don't know until you've gone to check. More Leica lenses. This is really a cheapo. This one, there's lots of those. Nobody really wants them. Takes quite good pictures. That's that. This old teapot, that might be a collectible. I've got no idea. I just use it to make tea now and again. This is some laboratory equipment. I've no idea what that's worth. Till you couldn't even describe it. Gothic galvanometer, maybe. What about the old prints on the wall behind me? I don't know what they're worth either. They're probably wealth. Now this is the real issue. A lot of this wealth generates no revenue, and it can't, but even if it can, here's the analogy. What if your wealth was a valuable painting, all your wealth? I know somebody who was in that situation. She was her uncle was a famous Victorian painter, and she had this valuable painting. She couldn't afford to keep it in good condition. Probably worth a lot of money, but so how would she have paid the wealth tax? What do? Cut a strip off the edge, send it to the tax office. What if your wealth is an orchard? Would you cut down a few trees a year to pay the wealth tax? Well, of course you wouldn't. You could pay the wealth tax out of the harvest of the apples, the product of the orchard. Now the product of the orchard is, in that case, measured by the rent you can enjoy, because there is a revenue flow which you can actually realise and pay. So these are some of the difficulties which are reasons why wealth taxes have never lasted for long. They just fail on the definition of wealth. Before long there would be so many exemptions and grey areas that the whole thing will collapse, but before then it'll be a gold mine for tax lawyers. So I've explained why I hope wealth tax will not work. It's a waste of time, it's a distraction. In a future video I'm going to cover how you can define wealth and what might have a chance of success.